Please be seated. And would the kids all like to come out and sit right out here so you can help me? Stay out there. Yeah, just on the floor out there, guys. Facing me. Facing me. Yeah. And make room for the little ones and make sure there's room for them. Yeah. Yeah. Here they come. Yeah. Okay. Good. Yeah, have a seat. So do you guys know the story about Jesus, right? And how he was born? And so you guys are going to help me tell that story to your parents, because I'm not sure if they all know it. So we're going to put the nativity set together, and we're going to tell the story of Jesus just to make sure everybody knows, okay? So let's start the story. The story begins with Jesus' mommy and daddy, right? Who knows who Jesus' mommy is? Mary, very good. Does somebody have Mary? Can you bring me Mary? You can bring her up and put her right here. Right there. Good job. Thank you. And Mary was married to a man. What was that man's name? God was Jesus' father. It gets complicated, doesn't it? Good. Good. We'll come back around to that. Very good. Joseph, very good. Who has Joseph? Joseph. All right, bring him on up, and he gets to go on the other side, right there. Oh, wait, that is a shepherd. That is a shepherd. Somebody else has Joseph. You've got Joseph. Okay, bring Joseph up. Okay. Very good. Thank you. Very good. Okay. Now, do you guys know, where was Jesus born? Who knows? They put him in a manger when he was born. What town was he born in? Bethlehem. Very good. And when they got to Bethlehem, was there any room inside of any of the regular buildings for them to stay in? No. So where was Jesus? Where did he have to be born? In a stable. Yeah, and they put him in a manger. The manger's already up here. But he was born in a stable. What normally lives in a stable? Animals. We've got a couple animals that go in there. I think there's a cow and a donkey somewhere. Who has the cow and the donkey? Okay, bring them on up. And who has the donkey? You. Aha. Okay. Cow goes right there. I would have never guessed. Yes. There we go. Okay, here we go. Very good. Thank you, guys. All right. And they had to put him in the stable. They had to be born in a stable because there was no room in any of the regular buildings in town. And in fact, instead of having a cradle like you guys probably had or a crib, they had to use a manger, which is a trough where the animals would eat, because it was the only good place to put anything soft so he could be safe. Now, when Jesus was born, who knows who announced it to everybody? Who went and told everybody? Angel. And you have the angel. Very good. Right there at the very back. Yeah, right here. Good job. Thank you. And the angel went telling people, you were right earlier, because God is Jesus' daddy, and the angel went and told Mary that she was going to have a baby. And then when Jesus was born, the angel went and told other people. Who were the first people that the angel told? Let's get some of the little people on this. Right. Angel told Mary, but now she knows because Jesus is born. So after Jesus was born and Mary and Joseph know, who did the angel go and tell? They're later in the story. Shepherds, very good. I think there are 3 shepherds out here somewhere, and some sheep, because that's what shepherds do. They take care of sheep. So can you guys bring me the shepherds and sheep? Okay. Yeah, we're going to put a shepherd there. And who else has a shepherd? There we go. We'll put a shepherd here. And let's see, we have another shepherd to go over on this side. And now, let's see, sheep. Okay, very good, guys. All right. One more. Oh, here he is. Right there, huh? You put your sheep right there? Very good. I'm going to put it there so he's looking. Good job. Thank you. Now, after the shepherds came, there were, who else eventually heard about Jesus and came to see him? Now it's time for your answer. The wise men, yes. There's one. Yeah, there are three of them. Now, it's important for us to know, the wise men got there kind of late. You know, like most men, maybe like your daddies, they don't like to stop and ask for directions very well. So it took them a while to catch up. They get their own day. We're going to celebrate their day later in January, but we've got a table set up over here for the wise men who are slowly finding their way towards the manger. So why don't those of you who have the wise men, bring them up and we'll put them over here. Ah. Good job. Right on there. Yeah. Very good. Thank you. Those of you who haven't heard the story by now, this nativity set just got here today, and it's been like the wise men. We didn't know if they were going to make it. They got caught in customs. They came all the way, instead of going to Bethlehem, they came from Bethlehem to join us. Now, I don't know about you guys, but Christmas to me always means story time. And oh, you know what? I see somebody who has to help me even before story time. I got ahead of myself. Somebody's missing in our manger. Who's missing? Jesus. Yeah. Are you going to bring me Jesus? Oh. Can you bring him up and put him in? Yeah. All of these other people, it wouldn't mean anything if he wasn't here. Yeah. Here, come on up. Here, come on, help me. Oh. Do you want to come? Do you want to put him in? There he is. You did a good job. Oh, sorry. Now, I don't know about you. Now, back to where I was. I don't know about you guys. I need you to back up so I can sit down right there. I don't know about you guys, but Christmas is not Christmas to me without stories. Growing up, my aunt we would have a big Christmas party every year on Christmas Eve, and we would all sit around and she would read us stories. I want to read a story to you guys, okay? It's a story about somebody called Little Bridget. Little Bridget sat by the fire. She was mending her cloak. See? She's sewing on her clothes right there. Mm-hmm. Oh dear, she sighed. There seem to be holes everywhere. The cloth is old. Really, I should make a new cloak. Winter has only just begun, but I'm so busy every day. She was tired too. She rubbed her eyes and went to bed. Bridget always got up early to do the daily jobs. First, she mixed a bowl of bread and let it to rise. See where she is mixing? Then she went to call the cows for milking. See? Cows, just like the one that's up there. Then she came back to the kitchen. She baked bread. She made a pot of soup. There's a pot of soup. And left it cooking. Oh, sorry about that. Yeah. One winter's day, she heard a knock at the door. Girls want to go. Okay. Outside was a poor man. Can you spare something to eat? He begged. Yes, said Bridget. Come inside. She gave him warm soup and fresh bread spread with new butter that she had made. Later, as she waved him goodbye, she saw a young woman with a crutch. "Come and rest," called Bridget. "You must let your ankle get better." She took off the grubby bandage and washed the woman's feet. See her doing that? She wrapped the hurt ankle in a new bandage. "It feels better already," said the woman. That night, something woke Bridget, the sound of someone creeping in the door. "Please help," said a shy voice. It's a little kid. See that? Just like you guys. "You poor child," said Bridget. "You're wearing just a nightshirt." "Please come and rock the baby to sleep," said the little child. "His mother is so tired." "Yes, of course," said Bridget, wrapping her cloak around her. "You show me the way." And the little child seemed almost to fly along the woodland path. Yeah, that's her. There's the kid. Yeah, there's little Bridget. Bridget could hardly keep up with him. All at once, they were there. Bridget found herself in a tumble-down room. At one end were a donkey and an ox. See them? Nearer the door were a mother and her baby. "Oh, he's only just been born," said Bridget to the mother. "Let me wrap him in my cloak. I will rock him to sleep, and you can rest." Softly she sang a lullaby. The little child joined in the tune. He had the voice of an angel. As the sun rose, the mother awoke. "Bless you for coming to help," she said. Bridget hurried away. She felt warm and snug. "My cloak," she said. "It's better than when it was new." The cloth was thick and soft. The holes had gone. In their place were stars stitched in threads of gold. And that's the end of the story. Who do you guys think the baby was? Just like Bridget, we're all called to come and help take care of Jesus. You're 4, yes? There's a little baby Jesus there, but you know what? We don't have to be here to find him. You'll find Jesus in places like Bridget did, in a hungry person or someone who's sick. You just had a birthday? Yeah, like Jesus, right? Yeah. 4. So we are all here tonight to celebrate that Jesus was born, but more than that, we're here to celebrate that because Jesus is born, we get to find him in everybody else that we meet too. That we get to be the ones who love like little Bridget and who find ourselves changed because of it. Would you guys stand up and help me bless the nativity set? Would you all stand, please? The order for blessing the nativity is found in your bulletin. The Word was made flesh and dwelt among us,
and we beheld his glory.
Let us pray. Almighty and ever-living God, you have given us a new revelation of your loving providence in the coming of your Son, Jesus Christ, to be born of the Virgin Mary. grant that as he shared our mortality, so we may share his eternity in the glory of your kingdom, where he lives and reigns forever and ever.
Amen.
Please be seated. O wonder of wonders which none can unfold, the Ancient of Days is an hour or two old. The Maker of all things is made of the earth. Man is worshipped by angels, and God comes to birth. As nice as our holiday traditions are, Christmas isn't really about a tree or about presents or a special dinner. Christmas isn't even really about a sweet, idealized scene of a baby lying in a manger or the carols that we sing. No, at its heart, Christmas is really about God turning everything upside down. On this night, God becomes one of us. God deliberately limits God's own self. Because of tonight, God can never again be separate from human beings. Because of tonight, God can feel pain. Because of tonight, God can suffer loss. Because of tonight, God can die. And as if all of this is not scandalous enough, God doesn't choose the wealthy and the powerful for his family. God isn't born in a palace or a mansion or a boardroom. God is born to a teenaged mother who got pregnant out of wedlock. God's stepdad is a day laborer. God is born in a barn, surrounded by animals and their muck. God's first visitors are shepherds, people who really are ruffians and thieves and other nobodies who live on the outskirts of town, performing dirty, menial tasks. And the only gifts that will be given to this baby God will be from foreigners who practice the wrong religion and show up late. From this night forward, nothing is the same. God is turning it all upside down. From tonight on, power means nothing. From tonight on, wealth means nothing. From tonight on, style and access and prestige mean nothing. Because God is turning the world upside down. That is why we are gathered here together. We are here because we have the audacity to affirm that God is found not somewhere far off, but here, in and amid physical matter. God is born as a helpless human baby. God is palpably present to us in a bite of bread and a sip of wine. God is touchable in the bodies of those with whom we gather around this altar. But we can't stop with these thoughts, because God does not stop with these thoughts. We can't know God in the sacraments we celebrate here if we are not willing to search for and know God outside of those doors. God is turning things upside down, and that means that we must be prepared to encounter God where God is to be found. And just as God did long ago in Bethlehem of Judea, God still makes God's dwelling on the edges of things. Today, God is a child who hasn't eaten a proper meal for several days. God is a widow living in loneliness and hampered by decaying health. God is a young man cast out of his parents' house for loving the wrong person. God is a woman living in a cycle of abuse and drugs and despair. God lives in a rundown trailer park and in a prison cell and in a tent made out of a cast-off sheet of plastic. If we want to know God here in bread and wine and each other, then we must also know God in all of these other faces and places. And we can know God in this way. It's as simple as a phone call or a visit to someone who is alone. It's as simple as a ride to the doctor or a bag of groceries. It's as simple as advocating for a cause with elected officials or spending a few hours helping on a CASA project. It's as simple as time spent bringing light into any of the myriad shadowy corners of the world. God is turning things upside down, and God calls for us to help. The problems that we will encounter out in the world are far bigger than any of us. But that is part of God's topsy-turvy new way of doing things. In God's system, it is the seemingly powerless who have real power. All we need to do is just see and touch God in one person, and then in another, and then in another, and then in another, and before you know it, our stories become part of the Christmas story that we celebrate this evening. I began this sermon by saying that Christmas is not really about our trees and presents and dinners and creches and carols. But I hope that you will enjoy each of these things tonight and in the days to come. And as you enjoy them, I hope that you will remember that even in and through them, God is busy turning the world upside down. Through all of these things, we are invited to know and touch this God who comes to us in very physical ways. And then we are invited to turn things upside down ourselves. That is God's Christmas gift to us. Let our gift back to God be lives that accept the invitation and say yes. Merry Christmas.